Someone may ask, what is TTP? Well, before I answer that, let me ask you a question. What are your goals? What is it that you want to do in your sport? Do you want to become a pro? Do you want to eventually win the world championship? Do you want to train so that one day you may be picked out by your country to go to the Olympic? Do you want to really maximize your potential? Whatever your goal is, that's what I did. I built a training program so that I can get you there. As simple as that. So if you're a hard worker and you're dedicated and this is really what you want to do, hit me up and I'll get you there. For the past 20 years, I've been training athletes. Some of them became world champion, European champion, French champion. I mean, so on and so on throughout my coaching career now. And I was training everybody on a one-on-one basis. And now I have developed this training program, TTP, Terrian Training Program, so that I can make all of these programs available, everything that I was taught in Europe, the way they train over there to prepare the athlete. So I've put all that together and share it to all of you guys that is willing to work hard to achieve the goals that you want. So how does that work? Well, you're gonna have a scorecard and I'm gonna have to evaluate your skills on a BMX bike and also your physical ability at the gym. How much can you squat? Your plyo, how explosive are you on your vertical jump? How high can you jump? Your acceleration on a 60-meter sprint, how fast can you accelerate, etc., etc. You are going to test yourself and send me the result. It will also have a technical scorecard on the BMX where I broke it down to pretty much every single technique that exists in BMX racing. I mean, I'm talking about pre-manual, manual, pre-manual jump, land manual, corner, lines, I mean, etc. Everything that you need to master as a BMX racer to be successful, I broke it all down, and you are going to grade yourself throughout a point system. You know, so if you can do this movement well at 50% of your speed, you score yourself a point. If you can do the movement at 100% of your speed, the technical movement at 100% of your speed, you can get yourself 2 points, and then 3 points, and 4 points. And then as you go through the whole scored system, you are going to be able to give me your score. If you are able to give me a perfect scorecard, scoring 100%, that basically tells me that you are at a high pro level. If you're like 12 years old and you're at, like, say, the novice category, you may score, let's say, 13 out of 45, let's say. All right, so regardless where you're at in your scorecard, that's gonna tell me exactly where you are in your riding level skill. And throughout the program, we are going to increase your level in that way. Once a year or maybe twice a year, depending on what I want you to do, we're going to be reassessing your scorecard to make sure that you progress. So the first time you do it, your scorecard, you may be 13 out of 45. Next time you may be 15 out of 45, and you're just going to go up and up and up. So with that test and your physical test, I will know exactly where you're at as an athlete in the sport of BMX. And then what you're going to do is you are also going to fill out a calendar, and you are going to tell me exactly which race you want to focus on for the next 12 months. Each races will have a level of importance. Level 1, not important. Level 2, important. Level 3, the most important race of the year. So if you go to World Championship, I will assume that this will be a level 3 race. So therefore, once you give me your scorecard, and then you submit your calendar, everything is on the website, by the way, I will be able to build your training program based on what I saw from your assessment. And I am going to prepare you for all of the races that you want to do throughout the next 12 months. So the way this is gonna work is that your training program will have different phases. Some phases will be to focus on your foundation work, make sure that you have good endurance, make sure that you increase your stamina so that you can actually take on the load of the overall training session during the racing season. Another phase will be to focus on strength only to get you stronger. At the gym, you will have series of percentage to do that depending on the age that you are. I've got different program for the younger rider and then from the older rider. Those that are going to be waiting at the gym, they're going to have to do a series of percentage. Some of the strength program that has been used in Europe, like proven training method that are there to increase an athlete's strength. So that will be part of one phase. Another phase will be to transfer all that strength on your BMX bike. It is one thing to be strong, but if you have no transfer, that gain's gonna drop and all that strength will be wasted. Later on will be to just focus on races only. All these trainings in phases, it's called periodization, and it's there so that you can constantly progress without hitting a plateau and being stuck at the same level for years and years. Those programs have been designed to make sure that you get to your race at the peak of your capacity, not showing up tired, not showing up overtrained. And those things are very important to calculate. I mean, what are you going to do 2 months before the World Championship? What about 1 month? What about 2 weeks out? What about 6 months before the World Championship? All these has to be calculated to get you trained so that you can maximize your potential on those races. If you don't have a solid training program, what's going to happen is you're going to get comfortable doing the same thing over and over. I mean, you're going to go to the track 4 or 5 times a week. You are going to do your sprint. And that's going to cause you to plateau, and there will be lots of area that are crucially important that will not be taken care of because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over. So these systems of phases will allow me to train you and to make you maximize your potential on the race that you've selected on your calendar. Can anyone sign up? That is a good question. I would say yes and no, because I thought about this a lot. And TTP, it is not a training program for people that wants to ride as a hobby. So the session will be heavy. You will be expecting to train twice a day minimum. Back when I was an athlete, that was my full-time job. Racing. I would wake up in the morning and I would do my morning session. In the evening, I would do my evening session and I would go to races. And that's all that I did for almost a decade. So I was able to do these types of programs very well because it was my job. If you have a day job or that you go to school, you're going to have to sit down with your spouse or your parents or whoever, your team, and you're going to have to make a serious decision as far as this truly what you want to do. If the answer is yes, good news, it is possible. It's not going to be easy, but possible. I've got some example of a rider that has become world champion and also being able to manage to go through med school. So they became world champion, and after their career was over, they went on and became a doctor. So that is an extreme example of someone that has been very, very successful in the sport of BMX and in also their personal career. That person was able to do all of these programs plus manage to go through med school. So is it impossible? Not at all. But it's going to be difficult. If you do have a job or you go to school, whatever, you're going to have to make a serious decision. Is it what you want to do? You're going to have to wake up early in the morning, do your morning session, and then go to work. And then after your work, you're going to have to go to the track at night or a sprint or whatever will be in your training program. So the question is it for everybody? No, not everybody will want to put themselves through that. However, if it's truly what you want to do, yes, it is possible, but you're going to have a heck of a lot of determination, and you're going to have to be very consistent into your lifestyle and your workouts. If it's truly what you want to do, you are going to maximize your potential, and you are going to do very well.